God. Kids are so fun.
He never forgot, though.
They never forget.
He didn't. Even to this day, he'll say something about
Isn't it funny? I mean, I'm sure it happened, but when we would see our mom cry, it's like instant tears.
I'm trying to remember.
Instant
Did she ever cry? I don't remember.
She would start crying and then we'd start crying. Like all of us.
Can you imagine?
Just 5 women. 5 of us all sobbing in the living room. I don't know what it is. I'm sure.
Why was she crying?
Oh,
was she just overwhelmed?
I think I can't even remember what it was. I just remember it would happen where our mom would cry and then we'd all start crying. And then I remember one time I started crying and my kids started crying. And even Tyler got a little like weepy. There's something so powerful about seeing your parents cry.
Know, huh?
And it really like profoundly affects you.
Because they're so strong all the time.
Well, they're in charge.
They're in charge. They know what's going on.
They're like, something must be really bad.
I know. That's true.
All of a sudden. I don't think
That's true.
I mean, and don't we always try to hide it? Like we never want to let our kids see us cry, like ever.
It's true.
Ever.
I don't cry as much as now the things I cry about they're usually like a commercial or something. I'm not crying necessarily
for
about
life.
No, I don't.
It must be a young parent thing. I don't know because I don't cry around my kids anymore. Well, they're all adults now, but
yeah.
That is true.
I mean, I'll cry if if Veronica are like hurting or something's going on in their life and they're talking and I'm listening, I'll get teary because it's difficult for me to watch them in pain.
Oh God, I hate it. You really hate suffering.
I really do.
You do.
They always look at me. They're like, "Don't cry."
I'm like, I can't help it.
Like, then stop talking.
Please stop talking.
They all know I'm the blubber mouth. I'm the one that'll start crying. I don't ugly cry.
No,
I've never.
but you're teary.
I ugly cried once in front of Veronica, but that was when Jeff had COVID and we didn't know what it was, and I thought he had cancer.
Stephanie, that was terrifying.
Jamie, I was so scared.
I was scared. I've never seen anything so terrifying in my life.
It was absolutely terrifying.
In a way, I was grateful that first of all, that he survived. Number one. Number two, it wasn't cancer or heart disease.
She wouldn't check him for it. She's like, he doesn't have cancer because she was so sure. This woman has been a pediatrician for 40 years.
She's seen cancer.
She's seen everything. And so she's like, it's just, he doesn't have it. She had run his blood. She looked at it all, and she's like, so finally after like the 3rd week, she's like, I finally checked him for cancer. She did. She goes, I'm just going to look. She was out of answers.
There is no doubt in my mind that Jeff is patient number 1 in Sacramento.
I know, right?
There's no doubt in my mind. He was the first kid to get COVID and survive it.
He may have been. I just think that
That's
happened
was. She called you and you're like, I am not returning your call.
I was done.
Like, you're not
we
doing
both
one
knew.
more thing
I think
with
it was like an epiphany went off when all of that happened. I was like, that's what it was.
He had COVID.
I'm like, God. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I think she was so relieved to have an answer.
Yes. Well, and not only that, but I mean, the fact that he survived the OG COVID.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a huge
I've told people
deal.
that. I'm like,
huge
it
deal.
was really, really, I'm like, it was horrible. I've never seen anything like it. I hope I never see anything like it again.
Oh my God.
Like, as a parent, I wouldn't want that to happen to anyone's kid.
No.
I'm like, it was awful. So, yeah, I mean, other kids probably went through it, but because we were all in lockdown, nobody was talking to nobody knew. You know what I mean?
You weren't on lockdown when he got that.
That was in late February?
They hadn't even called it yet.
They
in fact, Paula and I talked about COVID. Oh God, it must have been October, November of the year before. And they said some weird virus from China had come and, somebody in Orange County flew in and had it. And I told Paula, I said, mark my words, this thing is here and it's going to be bad.
It was freaky.
And sure enough. And then when Jeff was sick and we didn't know what it was, I'm like, I didn't even think it was COVID.
I didn't either.
I had no concept.
Well,
they kept saying kids couldn't get it. Remember?
Well, they didn't know. Yeah. And plus the doctor was doing her best to try to give it a diagnosis. Mm-hmm. So remember she first told me that he had
foot and
mono.
Hand.
Well,
mono.
She did do the hand, foot, and mouth disease thing, but then she told me he had mono.
And then Kawasaki's
disease. She was trying. All the symptoms he had were kind of reminiscent of the things she was trying to figure out if that's what he had.
Yes. God, it was so bad.
It was weird.
It was awful. I'm so glad that he's better.
Same.
I'm so glad that
he's had it twice since then.
I know, but it was the easier one.
It was so much better. I think that first time, like whatever that did to his immune system, it really helped because not that I would want him to do it. No. When he got it later, I could tell that it was getting milder and milder. The symptoms were much less.
It's so true. All right, ready?
Yep. Are we just winging it?
I have a few things.
Okay, cool. Good.
Just a few.
Because there's not a lot going on in the world right now.
No, there's not. Welcome to the Ugly Truth. I don't know what episode it is.
She's a rebel.
She's a lady. Whoa.
Oh my God. On The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. That's the one I'm watching right now.
God dang it. I need to catch up.
Oh, you're not missing anything. It's still the same shit. But anyway, that's the one that I do watch pretty faithfully.
Yes.
And there's this charity that the one housewife has every year, and her husband's in entertainment. But he always like the last time she had a charity event, he brought come.
Oh, Boy George?
Yes. So he brings like people who were famous 30 years ago.
They're not like huge right now.
Yes.
Okay, so he was big in the day, but now
he was big in the day.
Kind of like,
he's British and he's annoying as fuck.
Okay.
But this last episode,
like,
she was like, "I have a surprise, ladies!" And there was this big charity event where they were all dressed up, and she's like, "Ladies and gentlemen, Taylor Dane!" And half the people were like,
who?
The young housewives that are new on the show, they were like,
yeah, she's like 4 feet tall. She's so tiny.
Is she?
Yeah, she's really little.
Well, on the show, I don't know how they do like
Daryl met her.
The rights or whatever. Like, how long are you actually going to show her? But I mean, it was like 10 seconds.
Oh, okay.
So it was like a half of a verse.
She's like, if you're not going to pay me, I'm not doing it.
I'm sure they paid her, but I mean, it's low budget. So
that's hilarious.
I was like, really?
I like Taylor Dane, but I don't know if I would have gone crazy.
Lead you back. Yeah.
Someday I
And
just
that's what she sang.
I saw her on what's that New Jersey psychic with the huge hair?
Oh, for God's sakes. I know who you're talking about, but I do not know her name.
Okay, you know who I'm talking about.
I do.
The lady with the weird nails and the huge ass hair.
Yes.
So she did a celebrity version.
Oh.
And there was a time when I was obsessed with that show.
God,
Long
why?
Island Medium.
Yes.
I don't know, but I was obsessed with it.
Actually.
And so she did a celebrity version, and Taylor Dane was one of the celebs. And first of all, she's incredibly talented.
She can sing.
And she's incredibly short. You know, she's
I
full on
didn't know.
Jewish.
I didn't know.
I didn't know she was Jewish either. I thought she was like Italian or something. I had no idea what she was.
Yeah.
Based on her face.
Well, her name doesn't necessarily come off as, I mean, maybe that's a stage name.
If I recall, that is not her actual name.
Yeah. Because Dane, I mean.
Yes. So she's like, you have a lot of ancestors around you, blah, blah, blah. And she has a son. And all this other stuff. Anyway, so that's just funny that you.
Yeah.
This was a while ago.
I have no idea what made me think of that. Oh, because you were singing. And I was like, kind of reminded me of Taylor Dane. I was like,
right.
Yeah.
Speaking of singing, I have been putting off for almost a year. I have a crown that needs to be replaced in my mouth.
Oh, interesting.
And I just don't want to do it because it's on one side of my mouth that never gets numb. And I've had so much trauma and PTSD.
Anesthesia.
So finally, finally, I called the day before and I said, hi. I go, listen, I have an appointment tomorrow with Dr. Sultani and I'm getting a crown replaced. And I'm incredibly anxious about it. I couldn't sleep. Like it was, and you know how I am about dental anyway.
Yes, I am too.
And so I said,
I wait till things are falling out.
When I come in, last time I had something like this done, my old dentist, I said, hey, I don't do nitrous. I hate nitrous oxide.
Yeah, you told me that.
And so I said, he gave me a pill when I walked in. I sat down, he handed me a pill. He said, take this. And all was fine. I go, I'm fairly certain it was a muscle relaxer or a Valium or something.
Yeah.
And she's like, all right. She goes, well, we don't do that anymore.
And I go, I won't be coming to you anymore.
I go, well, like, can I have some stuff I can take. I mean, it's not as good as a Valium, but it's something. And she goes, no. I will have him call in something and you can pick it up. And then you can take it. And
she didn't mean like, no, we're not going to do that. She just meant I'm not going to hand it to you.
Yeah, they don't hand it. And I'm like, well, maybe that's.
It was probably in his personal stash. She's like, go in my medicine cabinet in my bathroom and grab that.
Go get that Flexerol for Jamie.
Yeah.
See that one? Yeah, go give that to her.
Grab her one of those.
She'll be fine.
It's mine.
Yeah. Oh God, it was amazing. So they called in Valium. Ugh. I've never taken Valium before.
Shut up.
I don't recall.
Are you sure that's not what he was giving you?
No, this was a different pill. And so they gave me 4 and they said, take one.
Beautiful.
I know. They're like, take one or 2. They said, take 2 an hour before you get here. And I'm like,
oh, for the love of God.
And I'm like, all right. So.
And Daryl did drive you, right?
They would not allow me until they saw a driver. They're like, a driver has to walk in and say, I'm here, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay. So I'm like, okay, well, here's the thing. I think an hour is too long. I want,
it's already wearing off.
Yeah.
So did you do it like 30 minutes?
So I did it like 10 minutes before we had to leave.
Oh, okay.
And so I come in and it's finally, it just started to hit me when we got there. And so
I think you're right. Is that an hour's too long?
I'm like, I'll be fine by then.
They have, what do they call them? They call them half-lives. I think when you take a drug, a half-life is like how long it's expected to last in your body from the time you metabolize it. And Valium goes really quick. Yeah. It doesn't stay long.
Yeah. So, and I'm not a druggie, but I kind of know. I kind of know that kind of stuff. Also, I think you can really underestimate someone's anxiety to metabolize shit like that real fast. Yeah. So anyway, so I took it.
Well, they're quite powerful.
They call me back.
I only took one and I was like, woo.
Yeah, they call me back. Two. And I was relaxed, but I didn't feel like I couldn't walk or anything like that. Yeah. I didn't know what to expect, to be honest with you. I expected to be really out of it. I was not really out of it.
No.
So I sat down.
That's why people love them, Jamie.
So I sat down and he comes in. He goes, unfortunately, we have a situation with another patient. He was being combative. He was an older gentleman who had been anesthetized. He was combative because of the anesthesia, and he was just being difficult. And I'm like, I hope that's not me one day, because he was like in his 80s.
Yeah, dementia could do that sometimes.
They put and I asked him, like, oh, is he? They're like, no, actually, he's just kind of an asshole. But he didn't say it like that. Yeah. But anyway, so they had like put on blankets and sunglasses and trying to relax him and all the things, and nothing was working. Oh, God. And I'm like, see, this is the kind of person who needs a little IV sedation, Anyway, so he goes, so it'll be a minute. So another dentist came in. She gave me the numbing stuff in my mouth, and it's a nerve block because my mouth will not numb. Yeah. Well, the shit was wearing off by the time he got there.
You're like, you're taking too long.
And so the Valium too. And I'm like, I should have taken another one. Yeah. So anyway, he comes in, although I think it was working just fine. He goes,
you probably were just afraid it was going to stop working.
Right. I was very afraid. And I said, hey, before we begin, he goes, yeah. I go, well, I have something I want to talk with you about. And he goes, what? And I said, and his assistant's there. And I go, so last night, I had a significant salad and it was delicious, but it had a lot of garlic and onions in it. And I go, and I've done everything in my power to eliminate that. And I feel like it's still in there. I said, sorry. So I'm sorry. And he starts laughing. He's like, it's fine. He goes, honestly, we are like bloodhounds when it comes to stuff like that, and neither one of us can smell a thing. I go, are you going to wear like a mask?
You're like, I don't want you to be offended.
And he's like, okay, Valium lady, no, you're fine. And I'm like, okay.
I do stuff like that.
And so I told Daryl, he goes, why did you do that? And I said, I don't know. I go, because I want to be polite. I don't want him to go in there with goddamn, garlic. But it wasn't that at all. Anyway,
you can only imagine what they've encountered in their career. Seriously, if the worst thing of the day was a garlic breath, I know. Imagine the infection and things they pus and whatever else they've seen.
I know, man.
That can't possibly equate to your salad. Although the first thing I thought when you started saying that what the thing was, I was like, why would you do that? Like, why were you not thinking the night before, like, I can't eat this because I'm going to the dentist tomorrow?
I don't know.
Because I do shit like that. I won't even eat. We've talked about the.
I should have had like rice pudding or something. I mean, like anything flavorless.
I bought some. Finally, I was being resistant to buying that crispy chili garlic. It's
got it. It's so good. Because did you buy Momofuku's? Or did you buy the Trader Joe's?
I don't know if I definitely did not buy Trader Joe's. The
chili garlic oil. It's so freaking good. That onion garlic chili oil. Yeah. Oh, God,
so they sell it at Safeway, but it was $15 for like a 3-ounce jar. And I was like,
Momofuku's. Yeah, I'm not very expensive.
Fucking doing it.
It's so good though.
Well, the other day I found it for $10, so I was like, you know what? Fine. I bought it. Holy shit! So I made a steak last night.
So good.
Oh my God. You could put that thing on a shoe. Yep. And it's so freaking good.
We put it on everything. We love it.
But then I was like, this is garlic. I'm eating garlic, right?
And onion, yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, this is going to.
I put it in my pasta sauce.
I would put it in anything. Yeah. So I already have plans for what I'm going to eat it with. But the problem is that I'm like, this is going to be in my breath and I'm going to smell like a walking garlic clove.
It's true.
But I've been eating every morning at work. I'm really, really trying not to eat fast food, because fast food is my weakness.
Right.
So if I just don't eat fast food, sometimes I'll just lose a little bit of weight. Sure. Like if I just literally leave it alone and don't eat it at all.
You'll be like, hey, my pants are fit.
But if I eat it like I want to eat it, I will gain like 5 pounds a week.
Salt
consistently.
Bombs.
Yes. So I've been trying really hard not to do it. So I've been eating like Jamie and I were talking online basically as we do about this chick that I watch on TV who makes, she goes crispy bread. But it basically looks like it's a bunch of seeds and she bakes it and it's really crispy.
With water. Yeah.
Yeah. And she puts like avocado or she likes goat cheese. I know you don't. Right. And different variety of different things. And that's her thing on TikTok. So I was like, well, I can't make crispy bread or I refuse to do so. And you can't really buy it. I haven't found it anyway. You might be able to get it at a place like Whole Foods or something, but I haven't driven to Whole Foods to see. I don't care that much. So I've just been getting some really weedy bread.
You're like, I don't like any of it.
Well, you know how they sell at, whole grain and you can get it gluten free.
We buy Dave's. Dave's is good. It's good, but you got to put it in the fridge.
Because it'll melts immediately. Yeah. Yeah. And you can't eat a whole loaf of bread in 2 days.
No.
So anyway, I'm going to eat that with avocado, cottage cheese, and now my crispy garlic on top.
God.
Yeah, usually I do everything bagel.
That sounds amazing.
Oh my God.
You're like, well, at least I'm not eating fast food, so.
Thank you. You can have a double, what do they call it? The one at Jack in the Box?
What? Double tacos?
No. The cheeseburger they make,
Oh, the ultimate,
just the Jack.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I do know what you're talking about.
What's my problem today?
I don't know.
Every time I come here, it's like I stutter and I can't think and my brain stops working.
So the other day, for some reason, and it must just be my algorithm on TikTok, I've been coming across a lot of pregnant women or women that are almost done having a child. God. And somebody mentioned something about they can smell everything when you're pregnant. The pregnancy scent, I don't know what that is, why a woman's heightened sense of smell. I assume it has something to do with our ancestors where they had to be able to smell like animals coming or something to protect themselves.
Maybe.
That's the only thing I can think of. It's some kind of genetic thing where we need to have
some kind of protection we need.
Yeah, we need some kind of heightened sense of smell so that we can keep ourselves safe as we carry this child to term. Okay. And so I was thinking about when I was pregnant with Mackenzie and I was working at the radio station and every single person I worked with had an odor.
Oh God.
Every single person at that time had an odor. And there was one woman and she beautiful, fairly famous woman, and she came in. She did afternoon and evening shifts at the time, and she came in freshly showered every single day. Under any other circumstances, she would have smelled totally. I probably wouldn't have even smelled her. Yeah, but she had a clean smell to her. But the smell was so sickening to me that every time she walked by, I almost threw up.
Oh God!
And she was clean. It was a clean smell. It wasn't like she had BO or anything.
But things are weird when you're pregnant.
I was like, ooh. And then there was this other guy who really, really liked me. He smelled like mildew.
And you're like, I can't with you.
You're like, I can't. And I actually asked him once, I go,
I think you told me this story.
Do you have like a leak in your house or something? He goes, why? I go, well, because sometimes I smell mildew. Like, I just told him.
Jamie.
I just told him. I'm like, sometimes you smell like mildew. He goes, so literally he's like, you know what? I did have a leak in my closet. All my clothes smelled like mildew. Oh, and I was like, God. Okay, thank God. So I wasn't completely wrong.
But still, I'm sure he was like, yeah, thanks for noticing.
I don't remember any smells of food making me throw up or sicky. It was people.
That's weird.
Yeah, it was people.
Oh that would be so much worse to me.
It's way worse.
I can't with that. I mean,
cologne.
I am a bloodhound for sure. And I'm going through it at home right now. I don't know what the fuck is going on, but my dogs are turning into fucking... They're fucking marking inside my house. And I'm about to kill someone. Like, no shit.
Everyone's going to the pound.
Yes. Jamie, I can't.
Why are they doing
that? I
that?
don't know. It's new.
Oh, no.
So I just, and now that I'm aware that it's happening, I'm like looking, constantly looking and yelling a lot. And of course, Jerry is just, I don't know if he gets paralyzed because he can see the level of my frustration is so high. He's like, dare I speak? You know, maybe I should just be quiet and clean up accordingly if she points something out. Because I'm like, there's piss on that box you put over there. He's like, what? What? Well, who's doing it? I'm like, me. I went over there and peed on it.
Jeff and I are urinating on things.
He's, well, is it Kevin or is it Mike? I'm like, both, probably, because they follow each other around the backyard and
cover each
mark
other.
the trees.
You know, Bodega used to do that.
Tree, and then there's Kevin, tree. I'm like, oh my God, you guys are ridiculous.
Bodega and Sunny used to cover, Bodega would cover all of Sunny's pee. Always.
Yes, they do
Always. You know what? I wonder if it's the weather.
Well, they've been in the house a lot.
A lot.
Because it has been raining and raining and raining.
It just won't stop.
It will not stop. And it's not going to stop, I guess, for like the next week. So
I'm so over it. I'm done. You know what? I'm not a winter girl. I'm not
a winter girl either.
People are like, you know, PSLs and Ugg boots. And I'm like, immediately, no. I want summer. I
hate it.
I want margaritas and warm weather.
In fact, when it gets like this, I get excited because I'm like, oh, thank God spring's almost here.
Right?
Because our winters are pretty short and mild.
They are, but we're still in the throes of January.
We are. But but in my mind, I'm always like, oh, yay, it's almost freaking spring.
I know. Oh, speaking of nothing, we did not talk about that plane that the window blew out.
We didn't?
No.
I thought we did talk about it. Yes, because I told you the example that I watched on TikTok of the girl who was on the plane. Remember?
Did we talk about it on the show?
I think so. Because she was sitting like in the front and she said she couldn't look behind her. Yes.
All right. I apologize. I usually have notes and I usually delete.
I think the day it happened was the day I was here. It was like that day or the day before. It literally had just happened.
The Boeing Max terror.
Well, now that's part of the reason why travel has been so terrible is because they had to ground all those goddamn planes.
I saw this one woman. She's just like, well, we're stuck in Hawaii and they won't tell us anything. And I'm just like, bitch, get online. Look around.
I know.
Look and see what's happening. She's like, they won't tell us anything. I will never fly Hawaiian Airlines again.
Shut the fuck up.
And I'm like, you know what? Good.
We don't want you on our planes when we're going to Hawaii.
Go to freaking Southwest like everybody else and leave us to our own Hawaiian Airlines.
I was watching a woman who was giving a legitimate testimony of her experience traveling recently and wanting sympathy from people like, am I wrong here? Am I wrong?
Why do they think that's going to work?
And it was about weather. Okay, she was in Colorado and it was fucking blizzarding.
How dare they?
She missed her connection. She was flying in from Mexico. Everybody on that plane missed their connection.
Of course.
Nobody, you fly from Mexico, they bring you to one major hub, and then everybody flies home from there, right? So everybody missed their fucking connection. And she was furious because the pilot said, look, if you have a connection in the next 30 minutes, please, everybody else, let them off first. Yeah. Let them run to their gate. They're trying.
It's definitely happened.
Yes. So she's like, that was a lie. They never intended on holding our planes for us. Because when we got there, the gate agents were like, I don't know why he told you that. We're not holding the plane. We didn't, And she's like, God. And so they ended up getting, which was quite generous, by the way, that the airline put them all up in fucking hotels.
That is very rare.
They never do that.
They don't.
If you've flown for any period of time in your life, you know that they don't generally give a shit. They'll
give you a cot. You want a cot?
Thank you. We'll give you a little Southwest blanket. Yeah. You can put over your lap while you're sitting in those chairs. I couldn't
Travel's
believe.
rough.
It is.
And whether
I'm like, lady, is this your first rodeo?
Well, it's probably her first time experiencing anything. The thing that I've recognized, like when Daryl and I had that harrowing experience in Boston, there is no time to bitch. There's no time to yell at anyone.
Right.
It's time to go to phase 2 immediately.
Right.
Immediately. So it's like everybody was standing around the ticket agent when they all told us to get off the plane. And I said, there's nothing for us here. No. Let's go in line. And the smart people were in line waiting. We got the last 2 tickets to fly out the next day. Yay. And he said, you're really lucky. He said, because all those people over there, they're going to be here till Monday.
Oh my God.
And it was Friday or something. And I was like, yeah, well, I mean, and on top of it, there was no hotels in the town.
Yeah, you told me. That was the worst part.
It was the worst part. So the fact that
at least if I'm stuck there, at least put me up in a Four Seasons or something and we'll just hang out until we can go home.
We called we thought, you know what? The fancy hotels will have a suite. We'll do something. We'll pay. We'll deal with it later. That's what credit cards are for.
Thank you.
We called. They're like, actually, we are full with pro athletes. There is not one hotel in town.
Sakes.
Every golfer in the country is here. Every basketball player is here.
Oh my God.
There was nothing. And everybody, and it was late.
So all the bitchin' rooms are actually taken.
Yeah. So we called where we had stayed the day before and they said, hey, can we have our room back? And they're like, unfortunately, no, it's already taken by a golfer. But I am on the phone with someone at another hotel. I was going to make a reservation for these people, but I will give it to you. If you call right now, you'll get the room. So we called and they said, oh, yes, we have your room.
Oh, thank God.
And so we got an Uber 2:00 in the morning.
Oh my God, the
something.
worst.
We get in, and they wanted to hear the whole story. They're like, please tell us what's going on in Boston. It's all over the news, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, yeah,
So we talked, and I'm standing there going, I am on the rag, and I want to go to bed.
And like, I over this whole
want
thing.
to talk to you.
Yeah, I'm not feeling.
So we finally get up to our, and Daryl's like, oh, well, it all started. And I'm like, God.
Like, can I have the key and he can tell you the story?
I was literally wandering around going, come on. And so finally we go up. I take a shower because, airport.
Yeah.
We slept for like 3 hours and then had to get up and go back.
Oh, I would just be dreading
And when I tell you that people are so assholey.
Oh my God, Jamie, I know.
They're so angry. They're like, I am standing in front of you. And I'm like, why? They're like, because I need to go. And I'm like, we all need to go.
Right?
That's why there's 300 people in line. You don't get to just cut. And she cut off all these paralyzed people. This woman literally, she's like, no, I'm more important. And she cut off all these people who are like dying of cancer and paralyzed. And she's like, I just need to check my bags. And they're like, bitch, you got to wait.
I mean, this is why there's like fights and stuff break out in places like this. Because people get so
They lose
hostile.
their damn mind.
If this bitch did that to me and I saw her, I probably would have lost my fucking mind too. I would like, hold on.
And the thing is that people with the dying patients, they're just like, well, we are in no position to fight you.
What are we going to do?
If
you're just a complete fucking cunt, then be one.
Yeah, we're like, but the ticket, I mean, first of all, I don't know if you've ever had an encounter with somebody from Boston.
No.
You don't fuck with them very often.
I've not been that far.
I wouldn't anyway.
Yeah.
I certainly wouldn't fuck with somebody born and raised in Boston.
No.
And they don't give a shit about your position.
Right.
They do not care. And so they're just like, we've never seen. So we get to the front. We're like, thank you for being so nice. And they're like, we've never seen anything like this. And we're here all the time.
Right. We've seen it all.
This is crazy. But I mean, there were news crews everywhere.
Oh my God.
Government agents. I mean, it was insane.
Yeah, it was insane.
So missing your connection from Mexico.
Oh,
give me a break.
Yeah.
Give me a break.
And she was like, and she was really like, no, I like seriously want your guys' opinion. And I didn't even go to the comments.
You're an entitled bitch.
No. I'm like, I'm not. I couldn't scroll fast enough. I was like,
people who travel
bitch.
all the time, you just kind of you just kind of like disassociate. And you just do what you got to do.
There's really nothing to do.
No.
And no one to blame.
You just kind of function. You're just like, okay.
I swear, I think...
Come to peace.
Yes.
Just come to peace.
Working for the government has really helped me in that regard because there's no one to be mad at. You're mad.
Really
are you mad at the government? Okay, well, who is the government? Oh, a bunch of, I mean, there's no one. It's not a person.
It's an entity.
It's an entity, and you can just be angry about it.
I know.
And the answer is always like, write your congressman, write your senator. It's like, that's so unsatisfying. No.
It doesn't do anything.
I want a pound of flesh. Somebody's.
Then you need to go to the gym, and you need to work out.
Yeah.
Go for a brisk walk.
Yeah. So I've just decided it's not worth getting upset about things that you absolutely can't control and there's no one to blame.
I mean, and the thing is it really brings so much more peace if you just realize you're like, okay, especially when you're looking at a human being whose job it is to like do what they're doing. They have no power.
And 1 in 10 of us is being a total asshole.
Yeah.
So like every 10th person is going to be ridiculous.
I fully understand now as an older person. I fully understand why people in the DMV are so negative.
I know.
Those poor workers.
I know.
It's like, and
It's
if you try to extend any form of friendliness, they don't trust you.
They don't care.
They're like, what?
Yeah.
Why are you being so nice?
Yeah, I think I got one nice DMV person when I was like, she must be high or something.
I got a nice DMV girl. I took a picture and she goes, girl, no, we need to do that again. And I said, I'm not very photogenic. I'm a little awkward with my face and stuff. And she goes, well, let's try it again. And so she took it and she goes, well, I mean, it'll do. And I said, okay. And I looked at it and I'm like,
I don't know why they don't let you take, like they should have a selfie booth at the DMV.
Do you know that when you do your passport, you can take your own photo?
Yes,
why
I do know that.
At the DMV?
I don't know why.
Why can't we just submit it? Shit?
Yes, because there's with the passport thing, there's requirements. Like it has to be a certain size.
Why can't we do the same thing with the DMV?
Yes, I don't know why.
You don't have to do it. If you don't have the ability, you can get your photo taken at the DMV or you can submit it with the pile of shit that you got to give anyway.
Oh God, that reminds me, I have to renew my driver's license. Why do they send it to you like 3 months in advance and then you forget? You're like, oh shit. I know. I'm like, okay, I got this. I'm like, wait, I have like 2 months before. I'm like, all right. So now I'm going to forget.
Oh. Anyway,
because they sent it to me so early. You know
but
what
it
I mean?
would be nice if they could just be like, and you can submit it, but it has to be this and this.
Like when I'm submitting my renewal paperwork, why can't I? Here's the photo I want you to use.
I was so relieved. Like the first time we had to do our passport because we were going to Canada. So we had to go to this post office, get our photos taken. And I was just there. He goes, you need to put your hair down. Don't put it behind your ears, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay. And they're so freaking mean.
Yeah, they are.
They're just mean. I'm like, okay, fine. So I'm doing it. And so by the time they take it, you're like scowling.
Yeah, because you're like, God, anything else?
Yeah. And they're like, don't smile. And I'm like, oh my God.
It's like a mugshot.
It is.
It really is.
Now I understand though, because it's like you need to look the way you would look at an airport.
That's true.
Which is not glam.
Well, they don't want you to try to cover up any features or like.
They even say don't go full glam. Don't do all that unless you're going to look like that every time you go through. Because if you don't have fake lashes, do not wear fake lashes. I mean, all the things. And I'm like, interesting. Okay.
Well, they're looking for terrorists. It's understandable. I mean,
or just people who are not who they say they are. Trying to fake.
Well,
fake
there's so many
themselves.
reasons why it's security. But I yesterday I was switching car insurance, and so I needed Jerry. I was like, Jerry, bring me your driver's license because I don't know the number by heart. That's like the one thing of his I don't memorize.
Yeah.
And he brings it to me, and I'm looking at it. And I'm like. I'm like, my God, I try. I don't know why I try. I shouldn't. Like, why do you try to look decent in a photo for your driver's license? No matter what you do, you pretty much look like shit. Even if you
look like you're laying flat in a tanning bed.
It's like
I don't know why. Face down, by the way.
This is what I look like in my coffin when I'm dead.
I don't know why. It's like you're everything's flattened
and it's really white
and it's super wide.
And why does your forehead look 10 times bigger than it normally does?
And I'm like, is this what I look like in real life? And Daryl's like, no, you don't look like that. I'm like, then why does it say that I do? I'm looking at myself.
Is it a trick camera? And I really don't look like this?
It's like, honey, it's the DMV. Everyone looks like crap in their picture. And I look at his, I'm like, well, you don't look like this.
Yeah.
I go, so this is what I look like.
We've had this conversation. Yeah. So Jerry's photo was he's like one giant thumb. Like he's all head. And glasses. I'm like, why didn't you take your freaking reading glasses off? He's like, because I can't see. I'm like, for the picture, you don't need to see. Just take it out. Because they're like pharmacy glasses. Oh, God. They're not even prescription.
Was there a reflection? Did it bounce off?
First of all, Jerry is so non-vain. Like we're so opposite in that way. He will literally get the ugliest wire-rimmed glasses and be like, well, they work. I can see. He never worries about vanity or like, did they have an uglier pair you could have gotten perhaps?
That's so comforting. I wish I was like that.
I know.
I wish I didn't care.
Oh my God. I spent hours at that stupid rack trying everyone on. I have to wipe them down in case somebody else tried it on. I'm like, I don't want their nose stuff on me.
You want nose aids.
Nobody will ever understand that. You're going to get foot aids or something. You watch someday.
Someday there will be AIDS and it will be from wearing other shoes.
And they will know because you were outside on the sidewalk with no shoes on and you stepped in spit and it seeped through your skin.
And that's how you got it.
And you'll be like, I should have listened to my mother and always wear shoes when I'm outside.
Do you never go outside without shoes on now because of that?
Barefoot?
Yeah.
Very rarely.
Really? I don't care.
I mean, at my house. Yeah. But even then.
I mean, I wouldn't be going to a gas station or anything.
I would never leave
going to pull a Britney in
the house.
Pee in a gas station.
I don't even necessarily take all of my clothes off, take all of my socks off when I'm in a hotel.
Well, that's different.
Is it?
I wear slippers in my hotel room. Completely. I do not walk around without any kind of protection. I don't know what's going on in those carpets.
We can only imagine.
I know that if I were to ever do the blue light thing, I would never
Jamie,
stay in a hotel.
I can't.
And never.
I have a show that I watch where the guy, he's
blue lights it?
Yeah. Well, he's trying to train people in hospitality.
Sure.
So he teaches the maids, he does everybody.
You got a blue light.
He does. Everything. It is frightening.
I just don't want to know. I mean, I remember, I think I saw something per your suggestion that the blow dryers have fecal matter on them.
No, well, was it? No, that's a new one for me.
Yeah, mine I'm like, how? And I'm like, you know what? I don't want to know. I don't want to know why.
Well, I always bring my own anyway.
Dryer.
Yeah,
but Daryl uses
the coffee makers.
Oh no,
that's the thing.
No, in fact, okay. So I love Reddit. So I joined the hotel Reddit.
Oh,
because I was really curious because it's people who work there and also people who obviously have questions about
yeah.
There are lists of people that they are banned
from
hotels, and this is a list that is shared.
Oh,
It's like a data center that is shared by several, because you'd be surprised.
Major chains.
Well, and you'd be kind of surprised who shares what, apparently.
Yeah.
Now, if you're banned from, like, let's say a Marriott, you'll never stay at another Marriott for the rest of your life. But the Hiltons can see that and decide whether or not they want to, for like, why were you banned, et cetera.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that's interesting. I had no idea that they shared that data, but sometimes they do.
They should.
Within a city.
Yeah.
But some other person goes, so my wife and I are opening this really cute bed and breakfast. We're so excited, but it's like, there's like 100 rooms. So it's not a tiny bed and breakfast. It's kind of boutique-y.
That's medium size. That's pretty big, actually.
Yeah, it's like boutique-y. Maybe it's a little less than that. But they're like, but my wife really wants to have...
I mean, it's not huge. I mean...
No. But my wife really wants to have coffee service in the rooms, and I think we should have it in the lobby. But he wants it in the bar area so that people have to pay. And I'm like, no one's going to pay for freaking coffee.
If you're paying for coffee, we're finding up Starbucks.
Yeah, you might as well leave and go get it.
If I'm one of those people who wakes up at 5 a.m. and nothing's open, or I really am okay with a Starbucks Keurig.
Yes.
Okay.
So she wants carafes, and everybody's like, immediately no. Do you
carafes?
Yeah, the old school carafes in the room.
Oh, carafes.
And everybody's like, absolutely not. Do you have any idea what people do to those?
I don't even want to know.
They're disgusting.
I will never again.
They're disgusting.
Well, most places the places we stay at don't have them anymore. Thank God.
They do Keurig.
They do Keurig.
They're like, you just
much safer.
If you absolutely insist on having coffee service inside the room, you need them to be pod makers.
Yeah.
And a bottle of water. That's it.
That's
nothing else. Don't do the carafe thing. And he's like, well, my wife wants to have coffee downstairs too, so that she can walk around and like give you refills. And everybody's like,
no.
Everybody's like, the last thing I want to do is talk to anyone, especially the person that owns
we're glad
the hotel.
you're having fun with spending our money, but
I'm not
here,
interested.
Yeah.
At all.
No. I mean, you can do those things.
Nobody wants to talk to you.
No one wants to talk to anyone.
It's just like,
no one.
That's why I hate the idea of even a coffee bar if I have to pay for it. It's like, I don't want to talk to anyone. I just want to go get it and come home.
Nope.
Go back to my room.
Not doing it. In fact, nowadays,
are these the only options you guys have?
It's unacceptable.
I have to pay a bartender $5 for coffee, or I have to have a dirty nylons carafe in my room? Like, what is the option? That's it? God.
Sex workers wash their underwear in these things, and I have to drink I don't think so.
I'm just sorry. It's like, oh, I had a problem. I guess I'm going to wash my underwear in this coffee maker.
Can't. Because at least the water gets boiling, and I know it'll be sanitary, right?
I know, but then can you imagine?
No.
Stephanie, I can't. I cannot.
I'm just hoping, Jerry and I have talked about this, because with the modern day reality shows and the things that we have insight into everything.
Yeah, we know everything.
We can see everything. We know what happens, and we are horrified at places we've eaten and things we've done in the past, because we're like, can you even imagine what we've eaten?
Honestly, no.
The unsanitation that we have had in our mouths.
I do think that on one hand, though, that it's improved us as a society because people are a little more discerning.
Yeah, now we were talking about in our heyday when we were like going out all the time.
Oh,
and
Stephanie.
Like,
I mean,
eating dinner out 3 nights a week and going to bars. And
I just remember one time vividly. I don't even remember what it was, but somehow I closed a bar down. And I remember they turned on the lights, and I looked down.
It's frightening.
And I went, Jesus. Yeah. I've been standing on this disgusting
It's
filth.
so disgusting.
It's sticky.
It's so gross.
It's so gross. God only knows what the spit and the drinks and the saliva drinks.
Jamie! Oh! The more you talk, I'm like, ugh. But you know what? The beauty.
You gotta go through it.
It's true. And how many times have you gone into a bathroom and you're like, well, you know what? I gotta do it.
I gotta pee. I have to
there's
do this.
Yep.
I have convinced myself of that many times. Do it. You're like, well, I mean, it's either this or I wet my pants.
And you're so grateful that you've had 3 drinks, because you're like, you know what? Whatever pee or thing is on my ass cheeks, I will wash it away when I get home.
All I know is that many of those times when I've urinated in those kinds of bars, I go home and give myself a horse bath.
Yes.
Before I get into bed.
Yes,
I can't imagine.
I can't. And none of that, but you mean people rub up against you, and it's just not. Yeah, I feel
humans are disgusting.
We really are.
By the way,
yeah.
we are disgusting.
We are really gross.
Anyway, do you have an awkward moment or anything before we go?
I actually had a relatively awkward free week for the most part. I can't think of anything totally humiliating that happened.
That's
I've
nice.
kind of come to peace with myself like in the last few weeks.
Yeah.
Like I think one of the reasons why I'm so awkward is that I'm trying really hard not to be.
Yes.
And that's when I am most
really awkward. Yeah.
So these days I'm just like, you know what? Fuck it. You know what? I am who I am. Yeah. All of you know it.
Come to peace.
And so I haven't done
nice.
anything horrifying.
I was getting ready in the bathroom and I'm blind. You know, I can barely see. And so there was something on the floor and I was quite certain it was a spider. And so Daryl's on a work call. And I text him like, spider. And he's like, 1 moment, please. He comes upstairs. I go, there's a spider on the floor by my bathroom, by where I get ready. He goes, where is it? I go down there. He goes, it's not a spider. It's a piece of fuzz. And I'm like, I'm sorry. He's like, it's all right. Bye. I got to go. I'm on a call.
Yeah. Oops. I mean, I have to keep we talked about this before too. Cause I'm like, I can't even see the shampoo bottle. I have to hold her up and I'm like, which one? Okay. It says shampoo. I'm like,
I keep them on separate shelves. So I know, just so I can keep track.
I can't see.
And then I forget sometimes. I'm like, wait, that is shampoo, right? I'm like, well, I guess we'll find out in a minute.
Or I'm doing conditioner 2 times. Okay, 2 times.
I've done that. Yeah. Or when I forget, I'll be so like in deep thought. I'll condition again. Yeah. I hate it when I do that.
I do too. I have to feel my head. I'm like, did I do it? Did I not do it?
Tell. Yeah. Sometimes I've gotten out and not conditioned. I'm like, God damn it.
You know what?
Because that's not even an option. Like I have to get back in.
Oh, same.
I have to get back in.
I cannot. Yeah, no, my hair it'll rip out. One of the things I was going to say was about hormones is I have, one of the symptoms I used to have when I was pregnant was mouth watering.
Oh my God. We all had that, but you had it bad.
I did have it bad. But that is always, ever since I've had children, it's continued. So whenever I start my period, it happens to me. It's terrible. Now my new one is excessive plaque growth.
What?
Like I haven't brushed my teeth and I just like, it's only when I'm hormonal.
So you're constantly brushing and flossing. Oh my God.
No, you know how like, I don't even know.
I do know what you mean.
I mean, we brush our teeth so often that they don't generally get placky.
No.
But I've had it happen. You know what? Who knows?
That's like so interesting.
Maybe I got too drunk one night and I passed out and I didn't brush my teeth before I went to bed. And in the morning, I'm like, oh God, you know.
Oh God, fishbowl central.
The worst.
Yeah,
so
awful.
Yeah. So now I've noticed every month when I'm either going to have my period or my body thinks I'm going to have my period and I don't have my period, but everything else happens.
Yes.
My teeth are like solid plaque. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, how? This is like, it's got to be weird and unusual.
It is weird.
And why me? I'm like,
I don't know, because you're awkward.
God, it's like the worst.
Oh man.
Anyway, do you have one?
I already told you, the fuzzy.
Oh yeah.
Yes. All right. Thank you so much for listening, and please rate and review our shows. Yeah. Share us. We're on all the socials, so you'll find us there, and we will talk to you next time. Bye.